a bit of fun, I'll pass you over to the co-host, Vishal, who will explain what he's here to do, and then I'll introduce myself, and then see you in a minute.
Hiya folks, my name is Vishal. Currently a student, studying, living the life, enjoying everything as usual. Just so everybody knows, if you do hear any feedback in the show, my co-host has got very chubby fingers, so please be excused if anything does go wrong. It won't be my fault. If you hear any other noises, it's probably him farting. Then again, I'm sorry if anything does go wrong. What else? My hobbies are...
It's alright. Okay. We don't want to hear about hobbies. Right. Basically, what this show's about is we're basically sharing our experiences with computers and software-related issues, hardware-related issues, as well as playing some good tunes and some up-to-date current stuff. We'll be doing music and movie reviews, so hopefully you enjoy the show, and we're going to start with, we had a bit of a crisis, didn't we? just before we started. Basically, here in the studio, we've got a laptop which sort of popped up with C drive corrupted, thanks to me, Mr. Chubby Fingers, turning the bloody thing off improperly, and basically realising that most of the songs that we needed for today's show were on the laptop, and just basically switched it back on, and it come up C drive corrupted. So I'll let Vishal explain the rest and see what you think.
Well, basically, as soon as I knew what had happened, I thought, what a dumb idiot for doing it in the first place. But all I had to really do for him was do a scan disk on the computer. Now, for people who probably don't know what a scan disk is, scan disk basically scans the actual hard disk for you, checks if you've got any errors or anything on there, any bad sectors on the actual hard disk. Once it's scanned it, if it's got any problems, it fixes the problems and stuff for you. Your computer should do that automatically anyway, every now and then. If you've improperly turned it off, like this idiot next to me has, then it will do it automatically for you, because it might say that there's going to be problems on the disk. If there are any bad sectors, it fixes them itself. You can manually do it by going to my computer.
That's not recommended.
Yeah, it's not recommended, but people can do it. You can scan it as well, just to check on, in general, if you've got any problems, which I think you actually should do.
Yeah.
In this instance, because he had quite a few problems when he didn't turn it off correctly. Everything should work. You go My Computer, click on Properties. I think you can do it through there. The other way is, if you go My Computer, click on your C drive, right click it, and click on Properties, and it should be under Tools, Error Checking. That's, I think, XP and the old Windows have that. Not so sure about Vista and that, but I think it's more or less along the same lines. So you should be able to find it. If you can't find it, you've got the internet. You can go on Google. You can search on Google about how to do it. I'm sure somebody will tell you how to do it on there as well. But you shouldn't really have much of a problem. Thankfully, we did the scan disk. It found quite a few errors. It took a while. It took a while, but finally it got working. And thankfully, his laptop is actually working now.
Yeah, thank God. This actually leads into one of our first ongoing segments that'll be part of the show, which is basic maintenance. We'll be talking you through things that you can do to basically maintain the health of your PC, and not to do what a good friend of mine did the other day, which was to go into the registry of Windows XP and delete 2 lines of registry code. I know I shouldn't be laughing because we're meant to be taking this on a serious note, but hey, things happen. Basically, if you're going to ever touch the registry in any of your operating systems 98 second edition, XP, Vista, or
Windows 7.
We recommend not doing it manually, simply because it can cause various problems, can't it, Vish? I mean, you're talking...
your actual operating system couldn't work correctly.
Yeah.
Which means you would have to reinstall everything on the computer again. So if you really want to do that, then by all means go for it. But my suggestions would be do it on the safe side and just don't touch it. If you do decide to touch it, or you actually know what you're doing, make sure you've been using computer programs like Registry Booster and things like that. You can download them on download.com for free. The other thing you can do is always back your registry up. So if anything goes wrong, you can get your registry restored back to the way it was before, in case something does go wrong, which it shouldn't do in the first place. You should also use a Registry Booster every now and then to make sure you haven't got any problems and stuff in there. And that leads over to something which we'll cover in the next few shows, which will be spyware and adware and stuff as well. So be sure not to do what my co-host David's stupid mate did and decided to do something. The gist of the story was he had iTunes, and his mate goes, "Oh, why don't you just delete everything from the library to get rid of all your music, and then just delete the registry values?" And it completely screwed up his PC, and now he's got to actually wipe the PC from scratch, which I think is his own stupid fault.
Yeah, but it does happen now and again.
I'm actually thankful that he's done it, because that made my day, because I couldn't stop laughing and rolling along on the floor when I heard the story.
Well, basically, look, at the end of the day, we're not here to take the mick or out of people on the show. We're here to give plain, harsh-speaking advice, and if people make stupid mistakes, we are going to criticise them, basically. Now, part of basic PC maintenance is just making sure that you virus check every now and again. Now, there is a lot of antivirus software out on the market, and before we go on to that, we need to explain Registry Booster is a piece of software done by a company called UniBlue. I use it most of the time on my PC for getting rid of registry values that aren't needed by the operating system anymore. This can happen if you've uninstalled a program recently, innit, Vish, or anything like that. So basically, it's going to be good fun, this show. We're also doing music and movie reviews while we're here. Basically, we'll be hopefully going to see some movies and review some good music. We've got a track to review today. We're not going to give an opinion on this track. We've both listened to it. It's by a young musician called Matt Roand, who's based in Northampton. We'll be, over the next 3 shows, we'll be reviewing his other 2 tracks as well. This one's an instrumental kind of track, and it seems alright for now, for chilling out to and relaxing to. So, but we'll get to that. So, antivirus software. What do you use? I mean, I use AVG, and I've actually paid for the internet security one. So, what would you recommend to?
It depends. If you want to spend money, I would say it's a choice between AVG and Norton. AVG's got its plus sides, which is that you can download it for free. You can get the free version, which is totally free, from a site called download.com, www.download.com. They get loads of free software that you can download, and nothing's illegal. It's all actually free. I've got that one. I've got the free version because I'm a student and I'm going to be cheap. I'm not going to waste money buying software when I can get something that works for good for free. I know people have paid and got the premium one. The premium one is good. It does have a bit of its downsides in the sense that at times the computer gets very, very slow, and it takes a hell of a lot of time if you've not got any virus software and you've installed it, you will notice how long it takes to start up and boot up and everything. It will slow your computer down. But then again, I can say exactly the same thing about Norton, and it's about another 2-3 other virus softwares. Is I think Panda Antivirus, and what's the other one? Kaspersky.
Yeah, I think it's pronounced Kaspersky.
Yeah.
If anybody's listening out there, basically, if we get any pronunciations wrong, you'll have to bear with us. I mean, but I thought Norton integrated itself with the system profiles on Windows. I mean, because don't you remember a couple of years ago where I think Semantic or Centomatic, again, pronunciations from the American companies are a bit confusing.
I think it's actually Symantec.
Symantec,
Yeah.
yeah, right, okay. Basically, it was causing problems with Windows XP. Now, what was found out apparently was people who install Norton was actually crashing Windows. I don't know if you read anything about that, Vish. What?
Yeah, I did hear about that. I haven't read up on it. I did hear about that, but then again, I haven't used Norton in years, so
Yeah,
I found AVG easier to use.
Well, that's what we use on the studio computer here. I mean, AVG's a good bit of kit. I mean, I paid for the Internet Security version, which is $59, which equals out to about 29 quid.
Well, it was 29 quid, but it's about 30, 35, 40 quid now.
If you are going to, I mean, we're not saying pick AVG over Norton or pick Panda over Kaspersky or any other antivirus out there. Just be careful what antivirus you use. I mean, AVG and Norton are the industry I would say industry standard.
Yeah.
What everybody uses. I mean, Norton 360. I've read some bad reviews on it. Basically, it causes various problems, but whether they're true and it's just bad write-ups, I'm not sure. I mean,
the main thing you have to remember is viruses are made every day, every minute, every hour. There'll be a new virus coming out somewhere. Virus definitions, when you update, is basically when you're actually scanning your computer, you get different viruses. These will find the viruses before Norton get them first. AVG probably get them second. But the other antivirus ones, when you update, they will take longer for you. They'll get them longer at a later date than when AVG and Norton will get. If you've got AVG or Norton, you've got the updated definitions. You can scan the computer. If you've got that virus, it'll get rid of it quicker. Whereas on Panda or something like that, it might be a few days later, maybe a week or a few weeks later. So that virus can be sitting on your computer for quite a while. So that's the other reason why I picked AVG. Norton do get them first before anyone does. But as I said...
But there's one... Sorry, Vish, for interrupting there, mate. There's one upside to AVG that outweighs it from Norton in my point of view. I don't know if you'll agree with me on this. With their updates, it's completely free. There is no yearly subscription cost. With Norton, McAfee, which obviously we have to mention, even though I don't use it because I found it not user friendly. It's the same with Kaspersky or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I don't know if they do an annual subscription fee for Kaspersky, but I know McAfee and Norton, you definitely have an annual subscription fee. I think it's about 20 quid.
Yeah, I think
20 quid, which is about $10 for any American fans listening. We have to give a few shout outs as well to people on the Facebook group. Thanks for joining. Got to give a shout out to my little brother and sister who on the group, and to my brother's mates Kane and James and Sophie. So, is there anyone you want to shout out to just for this?
I want to give a shout out to everyone that's on my friends list that has actually joined the group. There's quite a few people who I've invited, and 2-3 people that actually needed help. They spoke to me later on, and then I said to them, "Yeah, I invited you to the group. oops, sorry, I rejected that request. And I basically turned around and told them to go do one, and said, well, unless you don't join the group, I'm not actually going to help you. So they've actually decided to join the group. I'm not going to give a thank you to those people. I think they know who they are anyway, because they would have got the bad side of me while I was there. But I do want to give a shout out to everyone else that's actually joined the group and stuff. Few people who have asked me about it, I've said to them afterwards, yeah, make sure you join the group. They've decided to join the group. And we're going to cover problems and stuff that some of them have actually had on their computers. So hopefully we can start that off soon. Yeah. As soon as people come to us and tell us, oh, I've got a problem with my computer, my hardware is not working properly, or I've got a software problem. I know most of my stuff about software. My co-host David here knows
pretty much basically
everything about hardware.
Everything about hardware. I'm not bragging to say that I'm an expert. We're not Microsoft qualified, so basically this is just a generalisation from our own experience on what problems we've come across and problems we've helped friends with in the past. Not only that, we want to play some really good tunes as well, so it's a bit of fun either way. I know we've droned on for a bit, so but basically we're going to play our next tune, which is actually our artist of the week for this week, which is Selena Gomez and The Scene, and this is Naturally. Okay, that was our artist of the week for this week, which is Selena Gomez and The Scene. That was her latest release off her new album Kiss and Tell. Right, basically, Vish, I think we should let people out there know what we've got up and running so far.
Yep.
Like, how do they get in contact with us? You know, where can they go to?
We've got our Facebook group. We've got a Twitter group as well, which we've started up. Both groups are labelled PCTechRadio. Facebook group is very easy to use, very easy to get in contact with us. You can write on our walls. You can also, if you want, directly to message us. We're both there as admins on the group. You'll see our names on the side: David McGrath and Vishal Albert Palmer. Won't be no problem. Just email us and tell us what help you need. You can write on the wall for the groups as well. That would be no problem. What else? Which other ways have we got?
Well, we've got the website. I think we need to mention it, the website and shop, which is www.PCTechRadio.com. And for the shop, it's www.PCTechRadio.com/shop. At the moment, we're still working on the website to get it up and running. We're being helped out by Sam Phillips, who's our webmaster. Give a big shout out to Sam. What up, man? Basically, Sam's helping us design the website, and we've also got direct contact email addresses here for the show. Mine's david@PCTechRadio.com, and yours is, I think, visual@PCTechRadio.com.
Yep, that's right.
We haven't got any merchandise in the shop at the moment, but we are taking advanced orders for the t-shirts, for the mouse mats, for the memory sticks, for the pens, for all the little bits and nicks and knacks that we're doing in the shop. The email address, if you want to basically order anything, advance order any of our stock, it's admin@PCTechRadio.com. So basically, just send, if it's t-shirts, just send us what size you need, how many, and then basically we'll get back to you and let you know when it's on its way. Okay, so back to basic PC maintenance. What we're going to do is we're going to tell you how we maintain our computers on a regular basis. Now, Rich, I know a lot of people normally set a day aside a week to sort of do antivirus scans, disk defragment and things like that.
Yeah.
We will go into detail on what we're on about and some of the terminology we may use. We're going to try and not as use much tech speak as possible. We're going to try and keep it simple. So, Vish, I know you use AVG,
Yep.
but do you do any other regular scans like the UniBlue stuff or disk defragment or anything like that?
I actually don't, because I haven't really bothered to do it, and I keep forgetting to do it, although I should. So I am contradicting myself by saying, yeah, you should be doing it on a regular basis. Virus scan you should do once or twice a week. You should do spyware scans as well once or twice a week. If you're using the net quite a lot, you definitely should. Spyware, malware, adware, all that, you can get programs and stuff for that, which we'll go into detail in the next few shows. Disk defrag you should definitely do. That speeds up your computer in general. Basically, for example, your disk, what can be on your disk is, if you wanted to search for a file, what your computer will do is, on the hard disk, if you searched for it, if something was at the one end of the hard disk and something was at the other end of the hard disk, what Windows would have to do is search the entire thing to find it. Disk defrag basically puts everything together. So when you're searching for stuff, when you're starting stuff, when you're loading files, everything loads up quicker.
So what you're on about, just to explain to everybody, what you're on about there is basically disk for example, if you've got Microsoft Office, it's not, even though it may be all in one place in a folder on the hard drive,
Yep.
It'll be spread out across the hard drive, and what disk defragment does is bring it all together on the hard drive. Okay, fair enough. So you don't actually do anything, so
No,
that actually surprises me for someone who uses the internet quite a lot, and uses MSN quite a bit.
Yeah, I am on there most of the time. If I'm not on there, my computer is still on and I'm still logged in on it. So, I mean, it is kind of bad that I'm not doing it, but I do definitely do virus scans, and I do definitely do spyware and anti-malware scans and stuff. We will go into further detail about that later on, about software that you can purchase and software that you can get free as well. Just on a quick note, I do use Malware Bytes anti-malware. That is what I use for my spyware scans and stuff, and I've been using AVG. So we will go further into detail about that, about why I've been using those programs.
Okay, I guess it's my turn now, so I'm guessing it's Vishal's turn to rip me a new one, so to speak. Right, basically, I use 4 programs on my laptop, which almost had a nervous breakdown earlier on, as we explained. Right, basically, the 4 programs I use, I'm the same as Vishal, but I don't use the free version of AVG. I use the bought version, which gives you the internet security as well, which gives you the firewall, which obviously added protection. I also use 3 UniBlue programs called Registry Booster, Speed Up My PC, and what's the other one that they've got?
Driver Scanner.
That's the one. Basically, Registry Booster, as we explained a little bit earlier, it's a program which basically removes redundant bits of information from your system registry. It's a good bit of software to have, because basically you don't have to manually edit your registry and
end up getting to the point like
like my friend did the other day. So basically, it's a good bit of kit. Speed Up My PC is a little bit more advanced. Speed Up My PC, you can adjust the CPU usage of your programs. I reduce them right down because basically they can run on the minimum amount. The only 2 that I don't really touch, if you ever think about using it, is the Windows logon and bit. I don't reduce that at all because it will take an hour for you to log into Windows. I learned that to my cost, and Visual's got sort of sat there looking at me as if I'm a bit of an idiot. But you know, you can also optimise your internet speed, and it also helps you remove temporary files, and not only that, but it also helps you remove privacy files. Is it?
Yeah.
I think it's privacy files. We'll go into more detail on a later show about the UniBlue software, because I think it deserves a show by itself.
There was one other quick thing that I will go into more detail about later on. I will put that up on the site as well, and if anybody else actually does want to know, you can hit us up on the group or anything. But there's a really small neat trick that I learned about your RAM, your normal memory that you have.
The notepad. Yeah. I'll let Vishal explain about this. Basically,
there's a file that you can create. Use Notepad or WordPad. You open the file. What you do is you put in some text in the file. Normally on your computer, most people on your computer settings, you have file name extensions hidden. So for example, if it's a Word document, you just see the name of it. If you unhide that, you see the name, and then it says .doc, which stands for document. What you need to do is get that option up again. That can be done. Open up any window, Windows Explorer, anything like that. Open it up, click Tools, Options, and in your second tab, there should be one that says Hide Known Extension File Types. Make sure that box isn't ticked so you can read the name of it. So when you've got that file, it should say .txt for the text file.
Yeah, the text file is .txt.
Yeah, and what you do is you put the given values and stuff inside. You save the text document, close the text document off, and rename it just the end bit to .ram. I think it's .ram, and it makes a RAM file. So whenever your PC seems slow, all you do is you double click that file and it frees up some RAM on the computer. So I use that rather than having a program do everything for me, because sometimes there's certain things that people say, yeah, this program's here to speed something up, where actually it doesn't speed it up because
it slows it down.
It slows it down. It ends up taking more RAM, and then it says, oh yeah, I'm speeding it up, but really it's taken, say, 100, 200 megs of RAM, and it's freeing up 175 megs of RAM. So it's sort of like slowed it down, in a sense. So this way, you're not actually wasting anything on it, because that file is like 1 kilobit, which is practically nothing. And all you do is you double click, and it just frees up some more memory for you on the computer.
Yeah, because I remember ringing you and asking you how to free up memory, didn't I?
Yep.
About 6 months ago, because I was having problems. Now, we don't recommend that you do this on an old 486. You can do, but it may cause problems. As we've said, we're not actually Microsoft registered. We're not Microsoft accredited. So we don't want any emails saying you've buggered up my PC.
Yeah, we're only giving advice.
We're only giving advice.
You do this on your own.
At your own risk, innit?
Yeah,
you know,
at your own risk. You're doing all this stuff.
We're just here to give friendly advice. Not just friendly advice, but some probably share our experience in a way, isn't it? You know, and put some decent music out there. We do have regular day jobs for those who are wondering. We work at a wonderful company, but which we're not going to mention on this show.
The greatest company ever in the world.
We're not going to mention on this show because it's a case of we don't want to be swearing over the over the mic.
Yeah. I'm sure everyone that knows both of us in person will agree that we absolutely love our jobs so much.
You taking the mic?
We absolutely love the company that we work for. It's the best company ever in the world.
Woohoo! Kiss ass alert! Kiss ass alert!
We absolutely love the company so much. It's like it's the best place to work ever in the world.
Anyway, back to what this show is about. It's PC repairs and giving advice on software and hardware. Basically, I say PC repairs. Yes, that is correct. You did hear me correct. We do PC repairs, upgrades, as well as deal with software and hardware issues. I know Vishal has some experience in building his own systems, and he recently bought one off me. How long ago?
Been about 2 months, 3 months.
2 months. Now, Vishal is actually using a case called the Akasa Eclipse 62. Now, this case is absolutely a demon of a case. Anybody who's used Akasa products will know what I'm talking about. These cases are built to last, and they are built to give you space and cool. The case actually runs cold to the touch, doesn't it?
Yep. I think David was saying when he had all the fans and everything working, he opened the case, he put a digital thermometer in there. The digital thermometer...
well, there was actually an LCD screen on the back of the motherboard.
Yeah, and it actually clocked, I think, was it minus 2 degrees?
Minus 48, it was saying.
Yeah, minus 48 degrees.
That's with
the computer having been running for hours.
Hours
on end, it was still running at minus 48. So that means nothing's going to get overheated, none of your parts are going to get faulted or anything. Now,
obviously, we're going off on different tangents, and as you can probably tell, there's hardly any structure to this first show, but this is an intro to us. I think we can be given some leeway. Anyway, just before we go to the next song, we'd just like to let you all know we are from Birmingham. We live and work in the city, unfortunately, for a great company, as we've mentioned. So, we're going to play a couple of songs by a very well-known local artist. Well, artists, should I say. Yeah. They're a favourite band of mine, always have been since I was 5. I don't know about you, Vish, but I think it's time to tell it like it is. This is UB40. Okay, that was UB40 and Tell It Like It Is, which is basically what we're going to try and do on this show. Right, basically, because this is the intro show, we're having a laugh, we're having a joke, and we just want to have a bit of fun, which is why we're going off in all different directions. But on future shows, there's going to be set topics, there's going to be stuff in there, Vish, we'll keep it more structured. We don't want to be boring you guys, so it's why we're breaking up the show with music, because you don't want to listen to us talking for an hour and a half, because it'll bore the pants off you, basically. We will try and keep the bad language down to a minimum.
I know, you are talking about two people that do swear quite a lot, all day. Yeah.
So
not something that we're proud of, but it just happens because when you get annoyed, you just seem to want to
vent. So if we ever come on air and we are swearing, it's because either our computer's blown up, or we've
had something bad happen.
We've had something bad happen, but we'll try not to let that affect the show. Right, back to basic maintenance. On the operating systems, we know, Windows 98, Windows XP, Windows Vista. I'm not too sure about Windows 7. Each one has always had system restore.
Yeah.
Now, do you do a restore point on your hard drive?
Yeah, my computer does one automatically every month. It is definitely a good thing to do, because if anything goes wrong on your computer, you can restore everything back to the way it was. I will say one more thing as well that I think people should definitely be doing, but we will have to go into a lot more detail about this in another show, which is doing a thing called a partition on your hard disk. Basically what that will do is, what you can do, for example, you've got a hard disk and it's 100 gigs, 200 gigs, whatever size the hard disk is. What you can do is, if I've got one that's 100 gigs, what I can do is I can say, alright, I want to partition the hard disk. what you're doing is you're actually splitting the hard disk in whatever given ratio that you want to do it. So you'll have a C drive and then you'll have a D drive as well. They will both be on the same hard disk, but I'll give you an example. If a virus came onto the computer and something went wrong, your C drive would go, but your D drive would have no effect at all on it. Nothing would go wrong on your D drive.
So on that partition, would you just store your documents and...
Yeah, you would store your documents, any music, any other information, anything else that you actually need, personal information and stuff that you need, you can store on your D drive. That will remain untouched. If, for example, your actual operating system stopped working and you had to reinstall Windows, basically what you do is you install Windows back on C drive. Your D drive remains untouched.
Now, you know when you say the partition, obviously 100 gig isn't big, so would you do a partition, say, with 100 gig, or would you have a bigger hard drive and do the partition?
Well, I have a 250 gig hard disk. On my 250 gig hard disk, I put 100 gigs for my C drive, which has got Windows installed on it and all my other programs. And then I've got 150 gig for my documents and everything, and my music and films and whatever else I've actually got on there. But obviously, if you've got 100 gigs, I would say 30, 40 gigs for your C drive, and everything else can go onto your D drive. Obviously, if you've got a bigger hard disk, you can just split it. It's however much you want to do it is what you can split it on.
So what you're saying is, in a later show, we'll go into more detail on how to create the partitions and stuff. Now, we're not gonna say to everybody, go ahead and make a partition, because partitions can be quite complex to do. From my opinion, anyway. I don't know what you guys out there think. Most of this may be going over your head. But basically, on the partition as well, we know nowadays a lot of computer manufacturers, HP, Packard Bell, E-machines, and Dell. Oh my God, what's the cost? Basically, they provide driver support. Now, would you recommend downloading the drivers and putting them on the partition so you wouldn't have to use the discs, or would you say, obviously store your discs responsibly and do both?
Yeah, I would actually do both. I would store the discs responsibly, so if in case something did happen, then you've got everything there. You've got everything on the computer already. If you've partitioned the hard drive, then that's already sorted. You've got all your files. Put all your setup files in a folder and label it however you want it. Label it drivers for the computer drivers, whatever you want to whatever you want to name it. But just so you know where your files are. Then all you do when you restart the computer again, double click all the installation files, get everything installed again. Your computer can be up to scratch. That would be a good thing to do. If you are genuinely just reinstalling the computer, my advice would be also make a list of all the programs and stuff that you've got and everything that you've got, back everything up. So as soon as you actually reinstall Windows and get everything up again, you will know what you had before. Obviously, if your computer's crashed and your operating system isn't working at all, then there isn't really much else you can do about it. But you've just got to start again from scratch, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I mean, I've had situations in the past where I've had to reformat my PC, and for various reasons, virus, either it pops up and it won't load the operating system. So basically, we'll go into detail about partitions in a later show. We've covered what we can on basic maintenance today. We'll go into more detail on antiviruses again. Obviously, basic maintenance, it's an ongoing thing with any PC
Yeah.
You
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you only use the PC once every couple of days, once a week. You know, you actually do need to maintain your computer, regardless of how often you use it and how long the computer is on for. Whether you go on the internet or you don't go on the internet.
You know, basic maintenance is always part and parcel of what your PC. I mean, the one thing I will say, and this is for another later show, which we're going to do, which is Firefox versus Internet Explorer. Now, I'm not a big fan of Internet Explorer. I don't know about you, Vish, but I can't stand it. It's one of them. I've been reading that it lets in viruses, that it malware prone. I mean, I'm not slating Microsoft at all. I just want to put that point across, because basically,
if I was slating Microsoft, then why would I be using Windows?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know.
Why would I be using Windows Media Player? Why
Yeah.
would I be using Microsoft Word?
Yeah. But you know, it's a case of, you know, with Firefox. Obviously, we'll go into a bit of detail here. Firefox is just a browser. That's basically it. But it's a hell of a lot more secure.
Yeah. I do have to make one valid point.
Go on.
Internet Explorer, before Windows, Internet Explorer 6, Internet Explorer 5, and all the previous versions, when Firefox came out originally, it wasn't big at all. It was just a normal browser that not many people
Because
knew
it
about.
didn't Firefox. Hold on. Didn't Firefox come out when Netscape was about? The old Netscape browser.
It came out. It came out years ago, and then what they did was Firefox then officially came out, and then they had their own branding and everything. And I heard about it, and I was like, okay, let me have a try on this. And then I started using it, and I was like, okay, this is good, this is better than Internet Explorer. Okay, I'm going to start using this now. So I started using it. I've been using it ever since. Now, when Internet Explorer 5 and 6 and stuff was out, you didn't have tabbed browsing, where you could open multiple tabs in one window. When Internet Explorer 7 came out, they copied what Firefox had done. Now, if Internet Explorer was that great and that good, why are they copying something that Firefox has had?
Yeah, I mean, we can't go into detail on this show because obviously this is the intro show, as we've said. One quick point as well: any merchandise bought from the shop, 10% actually goes to our charity that we support here at PCTechRadio, which is the Mines Advisory Group. They're a landmine clearance charity based out of Manchester. Their web address is www.maginternational.org. Please give them a visit and have a look at the great work they do. The 10% that's given to them from our merchandise sales will actually be spent on not just the one project. It'll be spent on various projects. Now, I need to give a shout out here to Catherine Smith and Kate Wiggins at the Mines Advisory Group. Kat is probably going to kill me for calling her Catherine, but I'm not quite sure. Kat is one of the fundraisers at the Mines Advisory Group. She's part of the fundraising team, and she's actually, just to give you a bit of background here, Vish, she actually set me a target of £6,000 to raise.
Wow.
Now, I'm determined to reach this target, where I'm trying to do various things, but that's for another show as well, because we can go into details on what charities we support. Links will be available on our website to their donation pages to the various charities that PC Tech Radio is going to be supporting. But the Mines Advisory Group is just the main one, simply because it's close to my heart. Basically, right, where were we? Firefox and Internet Explorer. I just thought I'd bring that up. Sorry about that. I'm going off on a tangent again. Firefox and Internet Explorer. Now, Firefox, you'll notice when you first install it on your computer and you first boot it up, you'll think, oh my god, that is fast. Yes, it boots up a hell of a lot quicker than Internet Explorer. And there is a reason for this. Because I think they did a thing with Google, haven't they? They've done a deal with Google where it automatically boots up Google straight away, instead of MSN or anything like that. Basically, you know, anything to get you on on the internet quicker. Google is always the main search engine and always will be. There are other ones. I mean,
Yahoo, Lycos,
Ask Jeeves,
hundreds,
loads of them. And there's also the hacker's favourite, which is Alta Vista.
Yeah.
I have to put that in, Rich, because I mean, come on, you know, there are hackers out there that are probably going to be listening to this and taking the mick out of us for sort of, you know, doing this. But I say, what the hell? I don't really care. At the end of the day, for me, this is a bit of fun, and basically, it's just a bit of fun, you know. And to be honest, they can say what they want. I mean, at the end of the day, we're also inviting everybody on the Facebook group to basically give us their opinion on how they think we're doing, and give us any feedback they want, as long within reason. You know, I mean, don't be berating us for doing something that we want to do. Just be genuinely honest with us and just let us know what you think of the show so far. I mean, this is the first show, you know, and like we've said, it's the intro show, and we want to just put out there what we're doing and what we're about. So, what the next up and coming shows are, I think the fourth show will be about Firefox versus Internet Explorer. We'll do some digging and we'll do some research and see what we can come up with and stuff.
Yeah, I already know Firefox has won it by a mile, but
yeah,
we'll let you guys decide, and we'll explain why we think Firefox has won it by a mile.
Yeah, basically, we'll let you guys decide. We won't make the decisions for you. We're playing some decent tunes as well. On top of that, we're also going to give a shout out to some up and coming bands on the music review section. We're also going to be genuinely honest about movies as well. In the next couple of shows, we'll be reviewing a couple of albums by, I think we said Vanessa Hudgens, Miley Cyrus, Taylor Swift, a couple of rap artists. Which one's Vish? Because that's your section, isn't it? The rap.
Well, I'm doing rap and R&B at the moment.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
At the moment, for a little while, I'm going to do some R&B. I will eventually get into doing rap music, but there's only one problem on that, which is
we have to be careful.
We have to be careful that there hasn't got too much swearing in. And unfortunately, I listen to mixtapes and underground rap, which basically has swearing every single line.
And also, obviously, there's the obvious word that's always used in rap music, and we're not going to mention it on this show because it's a no-no.
But basically, as most people know, it's the N-word. But obviously, we're not going to mention that word at all, and we don't think that it's correct that it should be played on radio as it is.
Yeah.
Even there's a thing where you can get a license where for radio hosts and stuff, where you can play music that's got swearing and stuff in.
Apparently, we don't know if this is fact, but this is what we've been told. We're new to this internet broadcasting thing.
We've also been told that even if you've got that license, if the N-word is used a bit too much, they can ban us and they can stop us from having our show. So we have to be very careful as it is.
Yeah.
We don't mind if it's used once in the track or something like that. Then fine. That's always going to be there in rap music. Most rap artists will do that. We will try and get clean versions of tracks and stuff. Obviously, if you guys want the real thing, go out, buy it, go to iTunes, download it.
Never
find it wherever you can.
Never ever download music. We do not condone downloading music without paying for it. We can't condone it because obviously you're causing problems for the artist. I mean, would you agree? You know, it's
I would agree. The only thing that I do really in terms of rap music and R&B music for downloads is I actually do download music, but I don't download it in the sense that it's illegal. I download things.
You pay, don't you? You pay.
No, I don't pay for it. I get it for free, but it's a thing called mixtapes, and most mixtapes are free. Mixtapes are what rap artists, if they've released an album, for example, I don't know, Eminem releases an album, and if he's made 40 different tracks, but on the album he's only going to play 15, 16 songs on the album, all the rest of the material that he's got, if he doesn't want to put it in an album, he will put it in a mixtape, which will be unreleased material. That unreleased material is always free to download. You don't have to pay for it, unless it is an actual mixtape that you have to pay for. If it's a mixtape you have to pay for, then you have to pay for it. Otherwise, that unreleased material is all free. You can listen to it, you can download it, you can store it on your hard drive. There's no problem with that.
Right, so back to the PC side of things. Now we've explained what we're going to be doing on the music side of stuff. Big shout out to the celebs on the Facebook group, by the way. You know who you are. We're not going to mention you by name. We just thought we'd give you a shout out and let you know and be aware that we are going to be reviewing some of your albums and some of your movies. So that's going to be a whole heap of fun. Free cinema tickets on Orange Wednesdays.
Definitely.
You know, basically, yeah. So we're a computer-orientated show, obviously with a bit of music review and movie review thrown in. Now, as we've mentioned, we're going to have up-and-coming shows about Firefox and Internet Explorer. Is there anything else we're going to cover in upcoming shows as well?
We are going to talk about each and every operating system that we've got. We will try and cover something about Windows 7, but as I'm sure majority of the people we know do not have Windows 7, and probably won't be using it for quite a while.
Well, am I right in thinking that it's got the same problems XP did when XP was first released? It's still got a few bugs in the system. Microsoft are fixing them. They're not leaving you to, you know,
suffer from the
problems. They are trying to fix them.
It's like that with practically everything. All the software and everything that comes out, or even some of the hardware stuff that comes out, when it first comes out, there's always problems in the first few batches of everything. It happens in mobile phones as well. If a mobile phone just comes out, guarantee you within the next 3 months there'll be a newer version of the phone, and there'll be updates. There'll be loads of software updates on the phone. My advice to you, as with software as well, is if software has just come out and mobile phones have just come out, do not be one of the first people to go out and buy it, because you will have many problems with it.
I mean, just stick with what's reliable. On the PC side of it, stick with what's reliable. I mean, I know a few of my friends still use Windows 98 Second Edition.
Yeah.
They won't move from that because it's the most reliable and they've even said this to me. They've said that it's the most reliable operating system they've ever used. Now, at the end of the day, I'm a Windows XP man myself. Unfortunately, my laptop that almost went kaput on me this morning uses Windows Vista. Now, there are essential differences in the way it looks, in the way its user base is.
Yeah, the way it runs.
You know,
what features and stuff the actual operating system's got. Obviously, because Vista's newer, it's got better features and everything, and it's meant to be better. But that doesn't always mean that it is better. I mean, I could say that about computer games. Oh, a new computer game's come out, that means it's meant to be better. Well, not really, because some of the classic games are better than some of the games that are out right now.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like Command and Conquer, for example. I love Command and Conquer.
I'm sure people that play first-person shooters will say Half-Life is probably the best first-person shooter to have ever been made, and people who are about my age and possibly older will probably remember Doom on the PC and the Super Nintendo and everything. Doom was also rated as one of the best first-person shooters ever made.
But back in the day, oh my god, I sound old. I am actually hitting 30 this month.
I know. Just think, a 30-year-old man with chubby fingers.
That's just wrong. How can you? Actually, you know what? I'm not going to argue because I have got chubby fingers. I'm a fat git, but hey, we've all got our own lifestyle. At the end of the day,
again, apologies for the feedback.
Yeah. Do apologise. That's my fault. If there is any feedback on the recording, but basically, what we were saying, the classic first-person shooters that were out back in the early 90s. You're talking Quake.
Yeah, Quake was definitely an all-time classic.
Duke Nukem.
Yep, that was definitely an all-time classic.
And Doom. Now, obviously, Quake has had a revamp in the last couple of years, hasn't it? And it's been re-released. Now, I haven't actually played those games, simply because I've gone away. I fell out with first-person shooters after Quake 2, I think. Yeah. I couldn't really get into it, and I started getting into strategy-based PC games. Now, obviously, we were talking about upcoming shows before we went off on this tangent, but other shows we'll do on the fly. We're gonna sort of, some of them will be we'll have call-ins. We'll have live call-ins through Skype. You just have to bear with us while we set that up for you. Obviously, we'll have your questions via the email addresses and through the web and on the Facebook group. Please feel free to post any of your questions on the wall on the Facebook group. Please keep it clean, and please, again, don't berate us, don't make fun of us, because we're doing this to try and share the wealth of knowledge and experience we've got. I mean, I've been messing about with computers since I was 12.
Yeah, I've let most of my software problems the hard way.
What? Let them happen to you and then try and deal with them.
Yeah, they have actually ended up being that way, where I've ended up having a big problem, and then I've ended up finding out, okay, well, really, what I should have done is I should have done this instead.
Yeah, I mean, we will try. If there is any topic, we'll throw this out there. If there's any topic that you want us to cover, that you need help with, or if you've got a hardware problem, software issue, email us, let us know, because at the end of the day, that's what it's here for. It's a bit of fun.
There is one thing that I definitely want to say, which is probably the best piece of advice I can give anybody. If you ever buy computers or computer parts, if you buy a computer, do not buy a computer from Dell. Whatever you do, save yourself the money and do not buy a computer from Dell. Second one is, if you buy a computer,
let me just interrupt that. Now, we're not criticising Dell as a company. It's a case of
if you buy a top-end computer, buy one from Dell. If you're looking to buy a normal computer for an average person to use, up to £500, £600, maybe just a bit more than that or less than that, do not buy one from Dell. Go and save yourself the money. Go and buy one from elsewhere.
Because Dell, their high-end computers are the best ones. The lower spec end, I've dealt with a few PCs where they've had problems and they've been Dells. Prime example, your one.
Yep.
The motherboard went on it, and to replace a Dell motherboard, it's going to be expensive. And Dell are a good company. We're not criticising any company, which is what we've got to be careful of. Doing this. It's just a friendly bit of advice on what we've come across.
Yep.
I mean,
the second thing I was going to say is,
go on, English. Sorry about that.
If you buy computer parts, whatever you do, for the love of God,
do your research first.
Do your research first, and never ever in your life buy a Samsung hard disk.
Why? What?
Do not buy yourself a Samsung hard disk.
No, hold on. I have to ask the question. I have to ask you why.
I've had 2 Samsung hard disks. Both hard disks have been nothing but trouble. My computer has not moved an inch from where it was planted. It was left, it was never opened, it was never touched. The hard disk was put in, the computer was left. Nothing was touched, no bumps, no one bumped into it. I didn't kick the computer because it wasn't working, like I think quite a few people still do. Nothing like that ever happened. The hard disk screwed up about 6 times each on each hard disk, and all 6 times it screwed up in a matter of weeks. So hacker reported to you, it screwed up and it said, oh, it's crashed. So I've had to reinstall everything again.
So hold on, just so we put this in layman's terms for people listening, and we do apologise about the swearing. We did warn you. Basically, 2 separate Samsung hard drives.
Yep.
Not together as master and slave. Now, for those who don't know, you can have more than one hard drive in your PC, and obviously, as long as you set them to master and slave, you're fine. So basically, what was the hard drive corrupted, or did it?
Yeah, the actual hard drive itself was corrupted. And both hard drives weren't that old. Like, if I had a Samsung hard drive that was 6 years old and it wasn't working, I can understand and say, yeah, it's been there for 6 years, that's why it hasn't been working. Both hard drives were brand new, and they were both working. There was no damages or anything with it whatsoever. They were both delivered safely. They were both marked fragile. They both had foam and everything around it. There was no damage whatsoever to the hard drives because they worked perfectly fine at the beginning.
So, do you think it was just overheating, or?
No, wouldn't even be overheating, because both the fans and everything in the computer was working. If it was overheating, then the rest of my computer would have not been working as well.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. Another, I mean, we can cover it at another time as well. Another area that we're going to be covering in later shows, obviously, basic maintenance is going to be an ongoing segment for the show. We're also going to have periodically, not all the time, we're going to have movie and music reviews. Now today we're going to review a track by Matt Roand, who's a musician from Northampton. Now, as we said earlier, it's a really good chill. I think this is a really good chill out track. I mean, you've listened to it. It's a good chill out track. You said,
yeah, definitely.
But we don't want to force our opinion. What we want when we play music that we're going to review on the show, and big shout out to Matt from me. And if you want to give him a shout out,
yeah, big shout out to Matt.
When we play music that we're going to review on the show, we want your opinion. We want you to give feedback to us. So you can. I'll create an email address that people can get back to us on. Say musicreview@PCTechRadio.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that. I'll tell you what, we'll do that. We'll do a music review at PCTechRadio.com. Now, Vishal's going to introduce the next song. This is called Heart Behind My Eyes, and this is by who?
By R&B artist Joe, which I'm sure quite a few people have heard of.
Right, okay. This is Heart Behind My Eyes by Joe. Please enjoy, and we'll be back to you after this. It was Joe and Heart Behind My Eyes. Now, you are listening to PC Tech Radio. We are a computer, hardware and software station. Basically, we'll discuss problems. Today's show's just a basic intro to us and what the show is about. So basically, we haven't been concentrating much on the issues, just having a bit of laugh with this. One thing we did mention earlier, we are going to be doing a music review today on a track by Matt Roand, which is called Reality. We've got 3 of his tracks to play, which we'll play in the music review sections over the next couple of shows. Yeah,
definitely.
Again, this is a superb instrumental, which we will be playing close to the end of the show. We want your feedback. Matt wants your feedback. It's much appreciated if you do. You can give your feedback to us at musicreview@PCTechRadio.com, and we're also going to be setting up an email address at moviereview@PCTechRadio.com, where you can email us a review of any movie that you've watched recently, or that you think we may want to go and see and do a review on. What do you reckon? Kick it out there and see what people come up with. And we do want to hear about your software and hardware problems as well. And basically, you know, shout out to everybody on the Facebook group again, I suppose. You know, can't get enough of those guys. We do want you to use the Facebook group and the Twitter group. Whatever your preference is. We're not going to tweet all the time. I think it's called tweeting, isn't it? I'm not quite sure. You know, we're not going to be using them all the time. You'll probably more than likely catch us on Facebook. But again, we've said it a dozen times previously. Don't slag us off. Don't take the mick. We're doing this as a bit of fun, as a bit of a laugh. And we just hope that you enjoy the show. So basically, the next couple of shows, I think we should discuss them, to be honest. What do you reckon?
Yeah, we're also here to help you guys as well. We're not here just to, you know, have a laugh and just not
do anything.
Not do anything, like, not care about you guys as well.
Yeah.
If you guys have your problems, you come to us and we'll help you with your problems as well.
If we can. And we're not saying that every bit of advice that we give, you go off and do it. I mean, we don't want emails saying you've messed up my computer. I want you to pay me X amount of money. You know what I mean? I don't want to be getting emails like that, do you, Vish? You know,
nope.
It's we're here to help.
Because if someone sends that email to me, then I probably will swear live on it, and I will probably state their name or where they're from. So I'm sure that person will know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we're here to advise on problems. We're speaking from our own experience and the problems that we've had with our own PCs, where we've helped out our friends. I mean, you've got a quick story, haven't you? Where, because obviously people out there won't know, you play badminton.
Yep.
For your uni, don't you?
And my local club.
And your local club. Well, the word spread about PCTechRadio. We've actually gone ahead of ourselves. Poor Sam, who's our web designer and website creator. We've actually gone full speed ahead, and basically, we've basically, what do they call it? Run before you can walk.
Yeah.
You know, we're running before we can walk. So Sam's a little bit behind, and you can blame us for that, which is unfortunate. So not all of the website pages are up, but that's our fault because we've decided to broadcast early. So the live player, we must say, on the live shows, they'll be recorded for the meantime, due to the fact that the live player won't be available until we get the right code and stuff and get it uploaded. But basically, as we've stated, we're here to help you out. We're not here to be berated and took the mick out of. Yeah, you can take the mick. I mean, I'm not going to really carry you. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, like,
to me, this is a bit of fun.
I mean, like, obviously, if you guys take the mick and you're having a laugh while you're taking the mick, we have no problems with that. We'll probably take the mick back out at you. But you know, it depends in what way. There's obviously a level of taking the mick. Like, I could say to someone, "Oh, you know what? You know what? I think that looks like a clown suit." Now, I'm saying that for a joke. But if I turned around and said, "No, you just look plain damn ugly,"
that's going too far.
Yeah, that's going too far, and that's a bit rude.
Yeah.
So there's ways of saying things, and there's ways to say things.
Now, we know our friends will take the mick out of us for doing this, and to be honest, shout out to them. Shout out to Carla. Carla, if you're listening, if you downloaded it, hope you like it. Hope you like the music.
Be sure to watch the show cross-eyed like you did in that picture.
Hey, are you trying to get me killed? She is going to kill me for... Now, I must explain, right? I put a profile pic on my Facebook. Basically, my friend Carla, she's going to kill me for even explaining this. I can't believe this. Right. My friend Carla, we've been friends for 14 years, and she's a great laugh. Basically, I put this profile pic, she's cross-eyed, and it just looks so hilarious. And Vishal, who sat next to me, sort of with a grin on his face, and he's actually starting to laugh at me because he knows I'm going to get my ass kicked for even discussing this. Decided to take the mick. it was quite funny and hilarious, to be honest. And I think Carla took it quite well. She's still going to kick your ass, you know.
She says that. She says she's going to do it, but I just said I'm too cute and I'm too lovable, like a huggable teddy bear. So she's just going to be like, oh, and she's going to come up and give me a big hug.
Well,
I won't even have to apologise.
Well, you may have to apologise a bit, you know. But right, anyway, getting off subject. The next couple of shows, I think the next show we'll do more on basic maintenance. We'll also do. We'll also answer your questions related to hardware and software issues. So please send them to the emails that we've given. David at PCTechRadio.
Yep, and Vishal at PCTechRadio.
Obviously, that's .com for anybody who's listening. And also admin at PCTechRadio.com. Email us your questions. We'll try and find out the answers if we don't know them. Any question we'll get, we'll answer on air. Again, you know, for us, this is a bit of fun. This is a bit of a laugh and joke. We're going to upload as many podcasts as possible. As soon as we hit I'd say, if we can hit 10 shows by the 26th.
Yeah, we should be able to. Yeah.
You know, we'll record. I'll tell you what. Well, I'll lay down a challenge for both of us. We'll try and get 10 shows out by the 26th, and then
26th of
this month when I turn 30. So we'll do like a.
I don't know. You're getting a bit old now.
Hey! None of the old jokes. Stop that right there. I'm telling you now. I'm not old. Everybody out there, I'm denying my age. I'm not 30, I'm 20. Okay, there we go. 10 years younger already.
So you're 20 and you got chubby fingers. Why do I feel sorry for you when you hit 30?
Oh, God. Don't even go there. Right. In the next couple of shows, as we've said, we're going to be covering Firefox versus Internet Explorer. We've also been asked to cover, Windows XP, 98, Vista, and Windows 7.
Yeah.
To cover the differences. The only reason why I'm going to go out on a limb here and say the only reason why I'm not going to cover Windows 2000 is because, from my understanding, Windows 2000 is a business system, isn't it?
Yeah, it's more of a business system. It's not something that many people use. Windows 2000 isn't really an every day-to-day system that you can use at home for most people that want stuff. Like, you just want a basic PC that will do the job. Microsoft Word, Internet Explorer, Media Player. You've got everything on there from Windows 98 and Windows XP.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's a good fun, and we do want your questions. Now, I'm going to play another song here, and I think this is a Shaggy type moment. You know, it's going to be, in other words, you know, when Shaggy's song says, what was it? Wasn't me.
Yeah,
right.
Wasn't me.
This one is "Don't Blame Me" by UB40. So don't blame me if you follow our advice and you get it wrong, because we don't want any emails saying that we owe you money for your computer. But basically, I think this is an apt song because it basically puts why we want to do what we want to do. Okay, here is UB40 and "Don't Blame Me." Okay, that was UB40 and "Don't Blame Me." So we don't want any, we do not want any emails about the stuff that we're going to cover in later shows. If you're going to try any of the stuff, we advise you to do your research. Always do your research first. Don't rely on us to do your research for you. We will advise you as best we can from our own personal experience. As we have stated, Vishal is
doing all the software
side of it, and I'm primarily hardware. The only reason for that is because I'm basically I've built a few computers now, and I'm not really software orientated. I know little bits and pieces, but I don't know the ins and outs like Vishal does. I mean, you know,
I mean, like he gets stuck on things that I find very basic. And I think in my head that you know so much about computers, but you don't know some of the basics.
Yeah.
So I'm there trying to like teach him and tell him, okay, well, this is some of the stuff that you need to know. But it's the same way the other way around. Some of the basic stuff about hardware I have absolutely no idea about, and he laughs at me and says, "How do you not know this?"
Yeah, it's give and take, but just to let you know, it's not just me and Vishal that are going to be hosts on PCTechRadio. We've also got a good friend of mine, Roger Wingate, who is computer orientated. He knows bits and pieces about hardware and software that people might find useful, and he can also bring up some music that we probably haven't heard of before in the past. And I've also got a friend who is Apple Mac orientated. Now, that's Kieran Singh. He knows more than we do about Apple Macs. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not really. To go off on a tangent again. I mean, Linux baffles me completely.
I hate Apple Macs. If someone gave me an Apple Mac, I would sell it. If I couldn't sell it, I'd throw it out the window with video film and put it on YouTube.
Yeah, but
just to get some free bits.
But saying that though, we both have iPods.
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't?
No.
You don't have an iPod?
Nope.
See, saying that though, right? Vishal says that, and I say it as well. But I have an iPod and an iPhone.
Yeah.
Go figure. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, look, we will cover a lot of varying topics. If there's anything that you want to hear or you have any questions for us, again, please email them to us at the email addresses provided at the start, middle,
and during the show.
We'll try and plug our merchandise as much as possible as well. Again, 10% of all our merchandise sales do go to the Mines Advisory Group. Brilliant cause, landmine clearance charity based out of Manchester. Again, we have a target to reach, people. It is £6,000, and it is set by Catherine Smith, one of the members of the fundraising team at the Mines Advisory Group, and we are determined to meet that target. Now, we will be covering a wide range of subjects, software orientated and hardware, as we've mentioned. God knows how many times now. But the thing is, we're going to try and keep the shows to 1 hour and 50 minutes. So it's lucky we've got a timer in front of us when we're encoding this to MP3 to basically let us know how long it's been. We will do shout-out requests, we will do music requests, but you have to include them in your email. And we will try our hardest to play those tunes. But the music we will play is music that means a lot to us. For me, it's the 80s and reggae. Some of the 80s rock will be coming on. And unfortunately, yes, I will be playing some Huey Lewis and the News. I do apologise, but come on, Back to the Future. Who, as a kid, wanted to travel back in time? Now, I wouldn't go as far as Marty McFly, but, it's one of those. At the end of the day, again, this is for a bit of a laugh, a bit of a joke. We will be covering, over all our shows, basic maintenance, because, as we've stated, it's an ongoing issue. We will be doing one show completely dedicated to Firefox and Internet Explorer. So for that show, which will be recorded on Friday or the Monday, whenever.
Well, as soon as possible.
ASAP. We want your feedback from Firefox users. We want feedback from Internet Explorer users. Internet Explorer users, please tell us why you think Internet Explorer is better than Firefox.
As I stated from before, I think Firefox is always going to be a hell of a lot better. And I'm sure, as everyone will know, that Internet Explorer has many of its issues. But we're hopefully looking to cover that soon in the next few shows if we can.
Yeah, and we've also been asked to... we're going to do I was asked via text message before we started recording to cover graphics cards for gaming. Now, I think we should just do one complete show on how to do a gaming PC and what may be necessary.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll do that in show 3. I'll tell you what, we'll do that in show 3. Any PC gamers out there who use graphic intensive games, like World of Warcraft,
yes,
and games along those sort of lines, RPG games that require high intense graphics, email us, let us know what you've got on your system and let us know how it works for you. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually launch the first competition for PCTechRadio. Over the next 20 shows, we're going to build a gaming PC. And we are going to competition it off. Now, we're going to do it through eBay. Now, the only reason for this is the highest bidder wins it. And I think what we should do is 20% of all the money bidded from the final bid will go to the Mines Advisory Group. What do you reckon, Vish?
Yep, definitely. Very good.
Now, I think we're going to use an Akasa case. We're not going to say which one, but I think we both have one in mind.
Yeah, I know which one it is.
We're going to use top-end motherboard for it, top-end processor, all based around gaming. Now, if you want to email us and let us know what you think should be in a gaming PC, let us know. We'll take a look at it. We'll do our research. And for the show, we'll get back to you and let you know what games are out there for those gamers, strategy-wise, RPG. RPG, that's rocket propelled grenade, isn't it? But yeah, it's strange that, isn't it? RPG is also rocket propelled grenade. That's. I'm sorry about that, guys, but I just find it strange. It doesn't stand for rocket propelled grenade. Obviously, that's a military weapon. It actually stands for role play gaming. But we are going to cover a lot of stuff in the shows. So basically, right, we're coming into the last 20 minutes of the show. So what I want to do here is we're going to sign off in 20 minutes. We're going to actually break the cardinal rule and we're going to do a 2-hour show, as this is the intro show. But from then on, we're going to do an hour and a half to an hour and 45. Yep. Simply because we don't want to bore the pants off you. We don't want to be, having you sat in front of your PC or on your iPod, listening to us babble on. So basically, email us on any topic you want. If you want to hear, again, if anybody wants to hear Vish, what topics they want us to cover, we'll obviously do our research and answer when we,
Yeah, we'll do our research. I mean, if you want, like, converting software or, malware stuff, antivirus stuff, spyware, DJ equipment.
Yeah, we'll seeing as we've just started getting into internet radio broadcasting, we'll sort of kick it off and let you and basically give you a rundown of what we use here at PC-Tech-Radio. We can do that, and we can also let you in on how to set up your internet radio station. It's not easy, as we know now, because I did record a show yesterday. Obviously, Vishal was here, but he had family engagements to go to. It's your cousin's sister who's getting engaged, isn't it, Vish?
Yeah, she's getting engaged soon. Congratulations again.
Yeah, congratulations from PC Tech Radio. Obviously, Vishal will be there, but I won't, unfortunately. Yeah. But we'd like to give a shout out to Vishal's cousin's sister and say congratulations, and hope you enjoy married life, I suppose.
Yep, we will, definitely.
Now, in the last, say, 15 minutes, we're going to play this song for you. This is a song by Matt Roand, who's based in Northampton, local musician there. He was a member of a band which obviously parted on mutual terms, from my understanding, from my older sister Rachel. We're going to try and get Matt up to Birmingham to the studio for an interview to give us his feedback or his what influences his music and what influences his recording thing. Would you say? And
yeah, his style of music.
Yeah, that's it. His style of music. So this is the first track of Matt Roand that we're going to play in the review section, called Reality. Now, as we've stated, this is an awesome chill-out track. Please give us your opinions on it. We want as much feedback from Matt as possible. The email address will be set up later on today. And to my little brother Liam, I think you'll enjoy this track. This is a chill-out tune just for you from your big brother. Here we go. This is Reality by Matt Roand. Okay, that was Matt Roand, and I think the song is called Reality. Yeah, it's Reality. That's my fault. Do apologise, Matt. Sorry about that. We want your feedback and what you thought of the tune. I dedicated it to my little bro Liam, who's up in the Lake District with my little sister Emma, who's actually in college in Wales, I believe, at this moment, studying hard. Now, again, we're going to sort of break the rules here, and we've given you what we're going to do in the next couple of shows. We're going to log out in a minute to basically, because I've got work at 2 o'clock, and it's actually 10 to 1 here in the UK for those American listeners. Again, we're going to cover a lot of software issues, hardware issues. The show is going to be more structured. We're going to not play as many songs. We're going to actually be quite restrictive on ourselves and things, aren't we, Vish? You know what I mean? Because we have to, not because we want to. It's because we have to keep within the 2-hour limit that we've set. But again, like we've stated, it's not going to always be 2 hours. If we're going to do a live show, we may go to 3, but that's depending on feedback, obviously, from the intro show. Again, if you're just going to come online on the Facebook group and slag us off, take the mick by personally insulting us, then we're going to ban you from the Facebook group completely. Yes, we do have that power. And just a quick thing that we forgot to mention at the top of the show, the PCTechRadio does have a forum on the website, don't we, Vish? Which is administrated by you. Yep. So if you want to put posts on the Facebook group or on PCTechRadio's forum, please feel free. It's completely free. There isn't a premium membership for the forum at PC Tech Radio. We decided against that in the end, didn't we?
We decided not to bother.
Simply because a lot of other websites do it. Again, if you go on the forum and you start insulting people, having a go, we're going to ban you. Plain and simple.
If you start insulting us or even other members that are on the forum, we're very user friendly. We don't want problems happening on the forum. You will be banned, and you will be IP banned as well. So that means that wherever you're logging in from, that will be banned. You won't be able to sign up.
Yeah.
Again, on another account or anything.
Also, you may have noticed on the Facebook group we do have a couple of celebrity profiles. Now, again, we don't want you being a pain or slagging off their music or anything like that, because we're trying to be objective when we do our music reviews and our movie reviews.
Yeah, they've been polite to us and allowed us to put their music on. So we're basically, they're doing a favour for us.
Yeah.
So we're asking for a favour of you guys, not to be abusive to them.
And as Facebook says, if they're a poser, if you're a poser on Facebook, I can't stand you. I'm putting that out there because I'm sorry, but posers of celebrities on Facebook, you're wasting the fans' time, and it's not very polite to the celebrity themselves, especially if they're not on Facebook. Now, we can't go into detail because obviously there's so many poser accounts on there, aren't there, including R&B artists and rap artists and stuff, and
far too many.
Now, it's my belief that the Facebook accounts that are on PCTechRadio's Facebook group are genuine because they have the official Facebook barcode and authentication. If you're not, then please be respectful and don't state anything on your Facebook group, your Facebook page that will damage the celebrities. What's the word I'm thinking of? Status or anything like that.
Image. That's what you were thinking.
That's the one. We did play. Did we play the Selena Gomez track earlier on? Yeah, we did. We did play Selena Gomez's track. That's off her new album, Kiss and Tell. It's Selena Gomez and the Scene. I think that's a pretty good dance tune, to be honest. I don't know what anybody else thinks, but that's my personal opinion. And I don't care if you call me names under the sun. To be honest, if it's good music, I'm going to play it. If I think it's good, I'll play it. It's the same with Vishal. If he thinks it's good, he'll play it.
Yep.
It's music that interests us. We'll also play your requests. Again, email us at PCTechRadio. We're going to log off. We hope you've enjoyed the intro show. We've got one last song, which Vishal's going to do. Again, Matt Round's song, Reality. For anybody who... Just a quick thing. His song, Reality, it is copyright to Matt Round. We do not control the copyright, and we are not allowed to
offer it for free download.
Or even put it to disc. I have been asked to actually put it to disc and sell it to somebody. We are not allowed to do that. That is up to Matt. We can give you Matt's opinion on that if we get him in for an interview. So I'm not willing to do that for anybody because we do not own the copyright. I just need to stress that all the songs we play, we do not own the copyrights to them, and we are not putting these songs for download, and we do not condone anybody ripping these songs from our podcast to basically play on their own systems as MP3s. I'm not condoning that whatsoever. What about you, Vish?
No, I agree. Shouldn't at all. At the end of the day, these artists work hard, and this is what they're doing to make a living. If you were a chef and you were cooking food, and I came over and ate all your food and didn't pay for it, how would you feel?
Yeah, exactly. So I've played Selena Gomez and the Scene naturally. I bought that tune from iTunes, and I thought it was a good tune, and I liked it, so I've played it. Sorry about that. This last tune that we're going to play for you now before we log out,
right, the last track
Vishal will introduce.
Last track that we're going to play today is off Joe's album. The album was labelled Joe Thomas. This is the first track in the actual album. It's called ER, which stands for Emergency Room. Very good song. Please give your views and opinions.
Is this album available on iTunes to download?
Yes, this album is available on iTunes to download.
And yes, we will do a complete show all about iTunes. So listen out. That's for the future, because